And this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome in to a very shaded, a very mood lighting version of Coach and Company. We apologize for the late start today. A little bit of tech, some Wi-Fi issues, but we have everything fixed and we are locked and loaded, ready to go. As you guys can see, we have brought the show on the road. I am in Florida, an event that I do every single year. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Golf for Cops tonight. But for the here and the now, we're talking about the NFL. It is week 14, and I am fired up. Coming off an incredibly fun, exciting night last night in the world of college football. If you guys didn't see it, Indiana will be the new number one team in the country. They will be the number one seed. We'll be doing all kinds of college football playoff stuff in the next couple of weeks. Game number one will be December 19th, but that's college. This is about the NFL. So we have no time to waste. Let's bring in my guys. Mikey P, we don't even need transitions. Today, it's absolute guerrilla warfare. Now, let's start with my numbers guy, Rafael Esparza. Good morning, Rafael.
Morning, Coach. Good morning, Mikey P. It's a Sunday. It's NFL. But in about a couple hours, we'll know who's playing in the college football playoff, and I will be doing betting odds. Pretty much all the odds, first half, all that stuff will be out today for all the college football playoff games. The rest of the bowl games, they asked me if I could have everything done by Tuesday. We'll see how that goes. But all the college football playoff games, odds should be posted sometime while I'm watching football today.
Okay, I got a question for you. I'll come back to you in a second. But we want to welcome in my guy. He's pulling double duty today, so it's not a poo-poo face day. It's because he's producing as well. Mikey P, also a gigantic game for you today. If you're going to win, if you're going to have the number one seed in the NFC, your Bears will have to earn it. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, Coach. You know, I know you're busy traveling and you both have had busy weekends. The poo-poo face was here on Saturday. And if James Madison makes the college football playoff, I will not have any hair. I am so sick of that team. And I told the great people at the company here on Saturday morning, I said I would never make it about me. But I might have had JMU minus 23.5. And when they're up 17, they decide, we're good. We're good. Livid, Coach. What are we doing?
All right. Well, first and foremost, on championship weekend, you never lay 23.5. That's first and foremost. What are we doing? I don't feel bad for you. You laid 23.5 points. Rafael, would you like to take this one?
That is true, except if you're the Big 12, Big 10, and SEC. If you're a double-digit favorite in those championship games, you usually cover, but I would have never played that big of a number on JMU.
Don't feel bad for you, big dog. I don't feel bad for you. Real quick, speaking of college, I've been hearing last night, I was on the plane. You know how like you have the Wi-Fi? I bought, you buy it for $20 so you can watch the live streaming. And it kept cutting in and out. And I was infuriated. And they were talking about that if Duke wins, that potentially James Madison and Tulane could get in. Then they had a graphic up that said basically, Rafael, that it's these two out of these three, meaning Alabama, Notre Dame, and Miami. Because Alabama got dominated yesterday, and we talked about this week, if they were not competitive, and they weren't competitive, would Alabama go from 2 weeks ago basically being, in a bye situation to out of the playoffs? What do you think about that?
I'm going to take my SEC, I don't want to say hatred to the side, but I think Bama goes in. I think Notre Dame goes in because why? Because of the two names, Notre Dame and Alabama. I'm sorry, JMU might be out. Miami may be out. They're going to put names in because that's what names do. They produce money. They produce TV ratings. Notre Dame, and I have a feeling Bama's in the 15, which I'm going to lose my over under 4.5 SEC getting in.
You remember last year, at one point it was 6, then it went to 5, then it went to 4, then it went to and I really didn't think we'd get that many in. Mikey, Indiana last night, and I was I swear to you, I was almost in tears because you guys know how much this means to me. You know how much college. I've been very adamant this week. We've had Ben Garrett on. The whole Lane Kiffin thing drove me insane. Watching those guys yesterday on College Game Day arguing, and Nick Saban talking out of both sides of his mouth, going, I never tell people what to do. Shut up. I love you, Nick Saban. But Pat McAfee finally stood on business. Kirk Herbstreit finally stood on business. And Mikey, last night, when Indiana uses defense, great coaching, basically a fourth quarter stand, and then you've got one of the greatest interviews you'll ever see from a player with the quarterback Mendoza after the game. I hope Lane Kiffin was watching. I really, really do.
I hope the world was watching because I've said, as we've done our college football shows, Coach, every time we talked about Indiana, what did I say? I said it's not about Fernando Mendoza. It's not about how talented these players are. There's something about the culture that Kurt Signetti is building. And I think that is significantly important given the events that have taken place over college football over the past 7 days with Lane Kiffin. You establish your culture, you establish your identity, not just as a football team, but as a program, and look what happens when you get that recognition you earned and deserve.
And you know what he did, guys? What did he do a month ago when his name was the hot name? Oh, he's going to go to Penn State. He's going to go here. He's going to go there. He very quietly, you're right, Raphael. He signs a new deal over $90 million, and he has earned every single second of it. But he didn't even make it about the money. He made it about his players. He made it about his guys. He made it about his program. And that's what you saw last night. A whole team. What did Mendoza say? He put his hands together. He goes, "We're a team." I was like, oh my God, this is what it's all about. It's not about NIL. It's not about all of that. It's about team and emotion. And oh man, I'm still, as you can tell, I'm still fired up about it. I am still fired up about it. All right, we got plenty of time to talk about the college football playoff. But today, guys, there are several really big games. And then there's some games that maybe we just stay away from. But we got to get to our best bets first, and then we will tackle the games themselves. So, Raphael, I would like for you to start best bets. Let's get it going.
First one, we're going to one of the later ones with Seahawks Falcons. First half over 21 points. Make sure it's 21 because there's some 21 and a halves out there at minus 110. I just think it's going to be a high scoring game. We know Seattle can put up points quickly on offense and defense. Their defense can put some points on the board. Their last 5 games as a favorite, 4 of them have gone over the total, and they're a road favorite tonight or today in Atlanta. And then give me Jalen Hurts over 190.5 passing yards minus 3 nickels, opened up at 192.5. And I know the Eagles have dropped back-to-back games, but in those back-to-back losses, he has hit this number. I think he's going to have a big passing game because he's going to go head-to-head with one of the best quarterbacks in the game, and Justin Herbert. I think both of them go over the passing yards. I like Jalen Hurts today. And in the big matchup that no one's talking about, the Cleveland Browns, Tennessee Titans. Give me Shador Sanders over 158 passing yards in this one. It's to stay on your toes. I think Sanders also throws for 2 touchdown passes. So maybe look at the 1.5 TD passes as well. As Chuck likes to say, stay on your toes play. But he just hit this one 2 out of 3 games. I think he just throws it all over the air. He's healthy. And I think the defense bothers Ward. I think Ward goes under the passing total. Cleveland wins, and Sanders goes over.
All right, very, very good. A lot of great information there from my guy, Raphael Shadir Sanders. I mean, he may have lucked into the starting spot, but we found out a couple of days ago, guys, it was very under the radar that Deshaun Watson will be healthy and plans to return to the Cleveland Browns next year for 2026. So that should be very interesting. Let's call it that. Very interesting. All right, I'm going to go next. We're going to cash with the coach. You're going to do it 4 different ways today. I absolutely love the Jags +2. The Colts have not won in Jacksonville since, wait for it, 2014. 10 straight trips. They have gone 10 straight trips. They have lost -110. Also, the Jags, they won 3 straight. The Jags have won 4 out of 5. I don't know when the last time was that a team started 7-1 and then didn't make the playoffs, but the Colts after today, they play the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Jags again, and the Texans. 4 teams that right now would be in the playoffs. That's their remainder. Daniel Jones, it was a nice start, big dog. Your season is over. Then I love today Joe Burrow over 253.5. The Bengals are not done. The Bengals very much have a chance to win their division, but they got to go into Buffalo today. And I think we saw Burrow against the Ravens that he is absolutely back. He's healthy. This is a different team when he's a quarterback. I think he goes over 300 today because they'll probably be playing from behind. This is also one. I almost played the receptions too. Jamar Chase is going to show Buffalo and the fans up there just exactly what he's all about. Over 87.5. He goes north of 100 today. And then a teaser. Bengals, give me the 6 +12. The Bears, give me the 6 +12.5. Most teasers at every book are -120. I think the Bears are live to win the game. So you give me 12.5, I'll take it. Bengals, I think they're live to win the game. You give me 12 points, I'll take it. Cash with the coach, 4 plays. Mikey P, you're up.
Jaden Daniels is back for the Washington Commanders, and that means a lot against a Minnesota Vikings team who is bad. They're just bad, in my opinion. I have not seen anything to make me believe at all in the Minnesota Vikings. So at -1.5, I'm taking the Washington Commanders. And then give me Quinshawn Judkins. I like two rookie running backs today, and neither of them play in Chicago. Quinshawn Judkins over 91.5 rush and receiving yards. The Browns are playing the Titans. I think this is a great spot of two bad teams to get in some good tickets on some talented players you may not have heard of or have been watching. So I love Quinshawn Judkins today. And the Rams lost to the Panthers, who might be a respectable football team. But the Rams lost to the Panthers, and now they have to go play the Cardinals. I like the Rams -9. I know it's a big number, but I think the Rams get back on track in a dominant way today. And then I mentioned rookie running backs. Give me RJ Harvey over 68.5 rush and receiving yards as they take on the Las Vegas Raiders. So two rookie running backs for me, Coach. I think we'll see some pretty good, fun performances today throughout the NFL.
I think you're right. Mikey, where'd you get that 9 at for the Rams?
I believe it was BetMGM.
All right, most of them are at 10 now.
Okay,
So I
so
just want to make sure.
that must have just moved literally between the time we came on air and now.
Well, they were 10 last night. I don't want to call you out. I just want to make sure that we're giving out the right information. I've had 10 at my book, but I have to use an offshore.
It's 9 and
Rafael,
9.5 right now.
Okay,
are
yeah,
they?
it was 9, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure where people can get them. Would you play it? I guess my question is, would you play it to 10?
10, I would not. 9, I'm comfortable with because I don't want to get that push. So at BetMGM, just checked again. Yes, it is 9, and I would take it at 9. But if it goes up to 10, I would leave it alone.
Very, very good. That's why we discuss it. All right, gentlemen, best bets, well done. Now let's jump into the games themselves. And we're going to start with arguably the biggest game as far as repercussions are concerned. Now, the AFC South, if you would have told me before the season started that the Texans, the Colts, and the Jags would be alive in week 14 for a playoff run, I would have told you were crazy. Crazy like a fox. So today we got two 8-4 teams. So Mike, I'm going to start with you because the Colts are the favorite on the road, but they're the team that hasn't been playing good football. They've lost 3 out of 4. And Jacksonville, why do you think they're although be it slight, why are they the underdog at home when they've won 10 straight in this series on top of everything else?
I think there's still a lot of hype and belief in the Indianapolis Colts. I got to be honest, the AFC South is a very entertaining division, but I'm not sold on any of the three teams that are atop of it, being Houston Texans, the Colts, and the Jaguars. I want to believe in Trevor Lawrence. I want to believe in the Jacksonville Jaguars, but too many times we see them play very good football and then they play really bad football. So we were all in on Jonathan Taylor throughout the beginning of the NFL season, and I think if the Colts are going to get this win on the road, they're going to need Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, and guess what? He's played in this stadium 4 times. 0 touchdowns, 41 carries, 172 yards. He's averaging less than 50 yards a game in this stadium. Everything leans towards the Jags. And I think something, guys, that we got to be very, very careful of is 2 things. And I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. As we look and say, well, they only beat Arizona. They only beat Tennessee. Well, but they beat them. Then 3 games ago, they beat the Chargers by 29 points. Just because they used to be something, Raphael, does not mean they are today. The Indiana Hoosiers 3 years ago were nothing. They're the number 1 team in the country today. I think we've got to stop thinking about what teams used to be and what they are now.
Yeah, and you can also throw the win against the Raiders if you're going to look at it that way. But it's momentum for me in this game. Right now, Jacksonville has momentum. Trevor Lawrence is playing some really good football, but their defense is also playing some really good football. And that's why I'm leaning towards Jacksonville in this one because I'm not sold on the Colts. They've looked awful the last 2 games. Daniel Jones looks like Daniel Jones from New York lately. So momentum for me. That's why I'm leaning towards Jacksonville. And it's a home game. They played some really big home games and they won. They beat your Chargers or your Chiefs and the Chargers both at home. So they played some really tough games at home.
There's so much, I guess the word consequences and trickle down effects when you look at the overall in let me pull it up here. The overall in the AFC, the way the Colts record looks, if you're the Texans, if you're the Chiefs, if you're any of these teams that are 6-6 or 7-5, Mikey, you got to be praying that these teams not only beat each other up, but that they stumble going down the stretch. So the way it looks right now, the schedule makers look like geniuses. They really, really do, because of all the head-to-heads we're going to have in the last 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, we've seen this trend in the NFL over the past few seasons, and I absolutely love it. This is how football should be played and made in terms of a scheduling purpose. It's cold, not everywhere, but it's cold. It's December. There's rain in Jacksonville today. When it gets dirty and ugly, that's when you're earning your playoff spots. And I'm really excited. Guys, one big note on this: Sauce Gardner out for this game. So one thing I would really love to see, I know everyone in the NFL listens to Coaching Company every single
Of
day.
course, of
We are
course.
Brian Thomas, do you want to show up for a game? Just one, my guy. Some partners not in the game. Just show up one time. I think if Brian Thomas can actually show up and have a game, Jacksonville does have a big shot to win this one. This is one of the most entertaining matchups we have on paper today, Coach, and I'm super excited for it.
So quickly, when you look at the Jags, we talk about the Colts schedule. They couldn't ask for anything more than what they have in front of them. They have Indianapolis twice, including today. Then they have the Jets, the Broncos, and Tennessee. And I'm just not super sold on the Broncos yet, who've had like 9 late game wins so far. So the Jags right now, to me, if I'm looking at a team that's under the radar for the playoffs, this is the team that I'm looking at because of their remaining schedule. All right, let's go to another
Coach,
first.
really quick. Hate to ruin your flow.
No,
Some
all good.
significant bets have come in. Tampa Bay, one book just moved it to 9, so everyone's on the Bucks today against the Saints. The total has been going completely bananas in the Rams game in Arizona. Just moved to 48.5. Got a text. We probably see 49.5 by kickoff. And if you like the Chiefs, which everyone does, they're telling me 4.5 could be the closing number, or maybe even a 5. As much money coming in on Kansas City. Don't forget, this one opened up at 3.5 or 5.5, got bet all the way down to 3.5. So it's going to be very interesting what the Kingdom number is going to look like when it close to kickoff.
So my connect in Kansas City, he texted me earlier today because he always asks me, what do I need for the show? Do I need, you guys have seen the videos and the pictures that he sends me. And I said, what's the vibe around the team? He said, pissed. I said, elaborate. And he goes, really pissed. I said, okay. So we'll get to that game in a second. But I think the Chiefs understand. But I almost played the Texans in a teaser. That's how much I don't believe in my squad. Give me 10. There's no chance the Chiefs cover. I don't think they cover the 4, but we'll get to that. All right, let's go to the second battle for first place today in the AFC North. And this is really, really cool because you got 3 teams. One of them is 2 games back that are playing the Bills, but now you have the Steelers and the Ravens. Guys, combined 6 MVPs between Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. We know Aaron Rodgers is playing with a bad hand. We think he's going to play today. So, Mikey, I'm going to start with you because these teams are both 6-6. This is such an important game. And for the Ravens, who really hit a valley, they have an opportunity. If they can get right after that horrible performance against Cincinnati, they could still be a player come playoff time, but they got to get it done today.
This is another one of those very fun things about those schedule makers we were just talking about. You can't ask for a better showdown in the AFC North than Steelers Ravens with first place on the line. You know what you can't have? You can't have questions about Mike Tomlin's job security coming into this game. Let him play. Let this team play the game. I mean, they're not even eliminated from playoff contention. This is a battle for first place. With that being said, I do believe in Mike Tomlin, a guy who is 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 and 8. Like, he's a guy I shouldn't, as a Steelers fan, if I am a Steelers fan, I shouldn't have to worry about this conversation, not when the significance of this game is right here in front of us. So I love Baltimore in this spot. I think the Steelers are distracted. Aaron Rodgers is banged up. Give me Baltimore all day.
Yeah, I understand that. I really understand your take on that. I just think that when we're talking about 20-plus years, when we're talking about the narrative, he's never finished below 500. The reason this narrative's out there today is they are 500. They're 6-6. In any other year, they would be 2 or 3 games back of first place. They just have a year where Burrow has been out and the Ravens are frauds. So I really believe that he's got to go. Not because he's not a great coach, because 20 years is a long time to hear the same voice. By the way, Raphael, do you know how many times that John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin have met
Oof,
in
that's a
in
great
their
question.
careers?
No, I don't know, but that's a great question.
There's only two names that have met more than these two: Hallis and Lambeau.
Wow.
38 times. Hallis and Lambeau met 49 times. 38 times these two head coaches have met. It's absolutely crazy. And John Harbaugh has been the guy that seems to be more successful because they have had Lamar Jackson, but they also have not won the big one. They also are like the Bills and the Steelers since Big Ben, unable to win the big one. So if Mike Tomlin's going to get it, Raphael, then John Harbaugh's got to get it too.
Yeah, I said in the last matchup we talked about momentum. None of these two teams have momentum coming into this game. I'm leaning toward a plus points. I like the +6. I think Pittsburgh, as defense, is playing a little bit better than Baltimore's defense. I'm not sold on either quarterback right now. I'll lean towards the running game towards Baltimore, but this is a big number for a big game. And I think Aaron Rodgers, we all made fun of him this week because he was calling out everybody and anybody except himself. But I can see Pittsburgh's offense producing some points. I wouldn't even mind taking a look at the over. I thought the total could be something very surprising. I think we can see a shootout in this game.
Mikey, do you think that we could see a shootout in this game?
I think we can, but I'm not sold either on both of these teams' defenses. But for me, this game, and we could look at the schedule for both teams, but significantly more important, in my opinion, for the Ravens, who have this Steelers game, the Bengals, and then the Patriots and Packers lining up. So the Ravens, while this is currently a game for first place, you cannot take your foot off the gas if you beat the Steelers, because you've got three teams I just mentioned ready to punch you in the mouth and knock you all the way back down the standings. So Baltimore's got to play their best football right now. 43 is low. 43 to me is low, so I like the over here, but Baltimore's got to show up in a big way today.
They do. But man, what do we always say, Mikey? We love what here at the brand? We love
Overs?
chaos.
Oh.
I was going to
Chaos.
say teasers.
We
That
love
was my
teasers too. When you play Baltimore twice today and in week 18, 18, and then you got the Lions and Miami is playing a little bit better, and you got Shadir Sanders. If I'm a Steelers fan, it's gonna be a lot of boo birds coming out. But the team I'm most excited about, let's go to game number 3, because up in Buffalo, this one is as fascinating as it gets. You got the Cincinnati Bengals, who came out with Joe Burrow against the Ravens, and they dominated that game. And they dominated Lamar Jackson, and they made him look like a very average, if not below average, quarterback. Jamar Chase looked like a new man. He's like, my guy, going all the way back to college. He's back. That's why I love Jamar Chase today. But the Bills, they find themselves, Raphael, in a very, very unique situation that they're not used to, just like the Chiefs. They're a couple of games back of the Patriots, who are off this week. And so the Bills have to win just to see the tunnel and the light that's still there. But also think about this. If the Bills stumble down the stretch, they could be on the outside looking in. Your take on this one?
Yeah, normally I would be all over Buffalo in this one, but there's that white stuff that falls from the sky that's probably going to be affected in this game. So I usually try to throw those games to the side. When the players, and I mean, when the fans are already shoveling snow last night in the stadium, it could be a very long day. I think Buffalo is probably a little bit more desperate team than Cincinnati. Cincinnati had to go through weeks where they're preparing for next year already. They don't know if Joe Burrow's coming back. The defense still sucks. Now all of a sudden they're a whisper of maybe playing all out and winning all out and maybe making a playoff spot. But Buffalo has been the Super Bowl favorite since week 1. Now they're almost out. I'm going to take desperate mode at home over a team that still has a very bad defense.
That's a really, really good take. All 3 of the wildcard teams in the AFC are 8-4. And if they don't have heated everything in their new $1 billion plus stadium, then what are we doing? I think they love having the fans
Oh, I do
paying the
too.
$20 an hour, pizza. You better not see that in a $1 billion stadium. That's all I'm saying next year. But we still have it for this year. This is our last season. So, Mikey, at 3 teams at 8-4. You got Houston at 7-5. Then you got the two. Then you got Pittsburgh and essentially the Ravens, and then you got Kansas City. Those are the teams that we're looking at for the wild card race, which means it's going to be awesome because those are great brands. Those are great teams. And we're going to see all of these high level quarterbacks have to step up in the biggest moments. Today, I think Joe Burrow isn't even feeling, they're not even thinking about the playoffs. They're at 4-8. But if they get to 9-8, they could be live in the next 5 games. But I mean, there is no margin for error. How live do you think this team is as a dog to win the game?
I think they're very live. The safe play for me here is the +6, but I do think this might sound crazy to say in week 14, but I truly believe that Joe Burrow can outplay Josh Allen today, even with a bad Bengals defense. Now, with that being said, I say it every single time we talk about Buffalo. The weather conditions, the atmosphere, there is no better time, coach, to give the ball to who?
James Cook, damn it. Give it to James Cook.
Oh, it's not that hard. He's right there. I mean, this is a game for me. James Cook has to absolutely shine in because I do believe Cincinnati with T. Higgins coming back. Chase Brown has not been the Chase Brown of last year or 2 seasons ago when he was all over the field for the Cincinnati offense, making them a dual threat dynamic offense. So I believe Burrow can outplay Josh Allen, but in order to win this game, Buffalo's got to lean on James Cook.
Man, I don't even know where I want to go with this one. I know where my heart, because since the Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen era began, I have grown a respect for Josh Allen as a human being, as a hatred for him as a quarterback playing against my team. And that's what I love about sports. So, do I want him to play well? No, I do not. Do I want Joe Burrow? Yes, I do. Do I want the big? Yes, I do. But this is going to be a fun one today, guys. It's going to be a fun one.
Really quickly, I just got a text. I'm responding. That's why I was typing on here. This total just moved to 54 in 2 books. So actually watching the show because they told me, hey, money's coming in. It's probably going to be 54 and a half, 55. I can't mention who's probably watching because I don't know if you would like that. But 54, 54 and a half, maybe 55 he's telling me in this game because I think it's going to be sleeting more as we just got reported, not a full snow. So I think that's why people are betting the over.
Man, first of all, shout out to all the high level cappers who like to watch entertaining sports betting shows.
No, it's a sports
on the
book, not
daily.
this is a sports book, not cappers. This is actual sports book.
Raphael, I was getting to that.
Oh,
I
sorry.
was saying,
Damn, I ruined your flow on a Sunday. I
man, I was saying
apologize.
all the other people. It's okay.
I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. We have a question we got to get to because our next game, it's the biggest one of the day in the NFC. And the fact that Mikey is able to focus and even keep us heading down the highway with what he has in front of him today is a minor miracle. My man Bruce Green says, Coach, you like the over in the Packers game is currently at 44. Would somebody like to take that question before we break down the actual game and what it means? Raphael?
I'll take that. It's the
Good.
425 game.
Mhm.
And what do people like to bet in after the morning games? They all love to bet the over. So if you like to over bet it now, I could see 44 and a half. I would be shocked if it goes to 45, depending on what the public does in the morning games. But I can see points. I think Caleb Williams has a really good day through the air. So I could see back-to-back TDs going.
Well, we know that Caleb Williams knows how to win in this stadium. He did it last year. First time since 2015 that a Bears quarterback got it done. The last guy, hey, where's Jay Cutler at? Anybody see Jay Cutler? Mikey, this is and obviously as a brand, as a family, as a crew, we love this shit. God, this is why we do it. But when you look at it as an NFL fan, this is incredible theater. You've got the Bears who dominated the Philadelphia Eagles on Black Friday. Little irony there. And now you're looking at a team that has figured it out and realize we've got a two-headed monster just like the Lions used to have. And they both went north of 120 yards last week. We know that Caleb Williams, when it's a big third down, they know where to go. He knows how to get it done. He'll use his legs if he needs to. And they're getting 6.5. To me, that is gigantic. However, the Packers just went to Detroit and dominated the Detroit Lions and that offense that just scored 44 against Dallas. What do the Bears need to do today to take the spread out of it to win this game and stay in first place?
Answer the challenge that everyone within that organization has given upon themselves. And what I mean by that, at his introductory press conference when he was hired as head coach, Ben Johnson said, "I really enjoy beating Matt LaFleur twice a season." Oh, that fired all of Chicago up because he's 6-0 against Matt LaFleur. But now you've got to do that. You have to, what we love to say here at the brand, stand on that business. And also, Caleb Williams, you were challenged by Ben Johnson this week. He said, "I'm not happy with the passing game. I'm happy with my quarterback. I'm not happy with the passing game." And this is what I love about headlines. People say, "Oh, they're winning in spite of the passing offense." Yeah. Keep reading, keep listening, because he was very complimentary of Caleb Williams. For the Bears to win this game, they're going to have to run the ball. And wait for it, the defense is going to have to take it away. That's going to be incredibly hard against Jordan. Here's a great nugget that I had to dig up doing my week coverage for this. Jordan Love in November over the past 3 seasons, 37 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions over the past 3 years from games played in November and December. So when it's cold and the time is here, Jordan Love arrives. And we know these quarterbacks love to hang their hats on the rivalry against one another. So I think Caleb Williams needs to answer the phone. And for me, more than anything, Dan Rushar, the offensive line coach. It cannot be just one offensive lineman against Micah Parsons. How do you, as a coach, scheme for Micah Parsons, who's got 6 sacks in the last 3 games?
He potentially could be the defensive player of the year. I think he very much could. Regardless of whether or not he is, he has changed that Packers defense. And Raphael, I think in years past, because of the talent that Jordan Love has, and they had a lot of weapons. Christian Watson's back. He came back at the end of October. He has 3 touchdowns in his last 3 games for the Packers. They become almost workmanlike. And you got to give Matt LaFleur a lot of credit because most coaches, Dan Campbell, won't pivot and change when their team clearly has a different personality. The Packers have a different personality. They're an under team for the most part. And Jordan Love has shown that he can pick a defense apart, but doesn't have to. Would you buy a half a point here if you're betting on the Bears? Because to me, I hate 6.5. You know me, I call it yuck when it comes to that spread. What would you do here with the spread?
That was a fantastic question because I was going to talk about that when you brought it up to me. I do not see a 7 pop up. So if you like the Bears, which I do, maybe take a shot at that buy and a half a point to get the +7 because, yes, Green Bay has beaten Chicago 11 out of the last 12 meetings. But this is not the same Bears team we've seen in 11 out of 12 meetings. This is not the same Bears coach we saw in 11 out of 12 meetings. The momentum is on Chicago because of the D side, and Caleb Williams is protecting the ball so much better this year than last year. I normally hate to say buy a half a point, especially this one. Some books will probably add an extra 10 cents. This is a very popular game, 325 game. Wouldn't shock me if you buy a half a point and it's -130 instead of -120. But I do believe that could be a good place to do if it's still 6.5 by kickoff.
That's exactly the number that my book. I have to use an offshore being from Cali. Mine is -130 right now. I'm really thinking about doing it.
Evil
But
boy, I hate that. I know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Because I used to do it.
Exactly. Mikey, and I don't remember, and obviously, I don't remember everything. But the last time we had so many teams that heading into the last 5 games of the season could either get in, be a number 1 seed, or miss the playoffs altogether. Because when you look at your schedule at Green Bay today, Shadir Sanders is popping up everywhere. It's like the Browns have all these big games heading into the last 5 weeks. Then Green Bay comes to Chicago, and then you go to San Francisco. That's going to be a gigantic game for both teams. And then you end the year at home against Detroit. I'm telling you right now, if you get the number 1 seed, that means you will head into the playoffs with enormous momentum because you've got to win, in my opinion, 4 of these 5 games to get that number 1 seed.
I absolutely agree. And coach, I don't need to tell you, being from the Midwest, what it would mean to have teams have to come into Chicago in January and play playoff football with by the way, a fan base who is starving for a home game in the playoffs. We haven't seen that in a decade. So this would be a massive, massive opportunity for Chicago. But each and every single week, it's got to be earned. And I believe they can earn it. But the flip side of this conversation is there is a significant fall if you lose not one game, two games. You could be on the outside looking in with how tightly knit this NFC conference is as a whole. But let's give another Raphael clap to the schedule makers because I'm going to look past this Green Bay. I'm going to look past Cleveland and then Green Bay again. Week 18, you said it best, Coach. Ben Johnson, he's going to need revenge from that opening week 2 loss in Detroit. You have a chance to possibly knock Detroit out of the playoffs. You have a chance to ignite the Soldier Field crowd in one of the last few home games, hopefully we'll see ever in that awful stadium of Soldier Field. So I am so excited starting today because this is the race to the playoffs. But for me, each and every single game should be a playoff game for Chicago.
Let's look at it quickly in the NFC because this is banana land. And this is also why I'm a big believer that you shouldn't get into the playoffs if you win your division, but you shouldn't get a home game. And you certainly should not get a home game against a team that has 2 or 3 more wins than you do. So this is what you're talking about, Mikey, when it comes to the Bears right now. Okay. Seattle would be the number 1 wild card spot. They're 9-3. 9-3. They're probably going, wait a second, why couldn't we play in the NFC South? Green Bay, 8-3-1. That tie does not help them. Normally it does. And then you've got San Francisco at 9-4. And then Detroit at 8-5. Right now, Dan Campbell's probably saying, what the hell happened? Where did this all come from? But this is how much, Raphael, we're teetering on the edge of a lightning bolt. That if you're not winning your division, damn it, you better be coming strong because we could see some wild card teams that have 10, 11, maybe even 12 wins.
Yeah, and it's all of the division we're talking about now, the North. The Lions can only look at themselves in some of those bad losses. Green Bay, that tie is killing them right now. So it's so funny how the North can actually be yes or no when it comes to playoff seedings or just a playoff berth. It's going to be interesting what the North does.
I don't think there's any question that the wild card teams are going to come from the West and they're going to come from the North.
Yeah.
The East right now is Philadelphia at 8-4. Then you've got 6-6 Dallas. Well, Philadelphia is not an 8-4 team right now. They're playing like a 6-6 team, but they're like kind of limping. You got that one bad leg. Let's go. And then you've got in the South Tampa at 7-5, and then you got Carolina 7-6. So they still have their bye week. Tampa, despite all the injuries, that's the team, Mikey, that if I get to the playoffs and I'm one of those wild card teams, give me Tampa Bay all day long because it's going to be like a wounded animal that gets into the playoffs. So right now, I'm not scared of anybody coming out of the NFC South.
No, and you shouldn't be. I would be worried if I'm Tampa about Carolina. I mean, this is a team that has had significant wins. They go to Lambeau Field, beat Green Bay. They welcome the Rams, beat the Rams. Thank you again for that, Carolina and Bryce Young. Carolina is the gift that keeps on giving to Chicago, and I'm so thankful for them. But, I mean, you don't know when Mike Evans is coming back. You don't know when you're going to get a return to form for Chris Godwin. Where the hell has Emeka Ibuka been? He was everyone's favorite flavor at the beginning of the year. So for me, right now, these two teams are trending in opposite directions, and I would invest more, whether it be betting or as a fan, in the Carolina Panthers than I would the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow. I did that 2 or 3 games ago. You agree with that, Raphael?
Yeah, I agree. I think Carolina's, if we're going to look at, like, say, stock market, I'm buying stock on Carolina and I'm maybe selling my stock on Tampa.
I got to be honest with you guys. I played the Panthers against the 49ers, and Bryce Young looked like a middle school quarterback. I was like, what? Because admittedly, I have the league pass or the NFL Sunday ticket. I don't stop on Panthers games quite a bit when I'm watching other games. I just don't. So it's fascinating how, and certainly it also to remember it's the NFL and not college. These teams can bounce back quick. And it's also about matchups as well. All right, the last game we're going to focus on, and it's a gigantic game. And I love that it's a Sunday night game. I love that it's in our house because right now the Kansas City Chiefs are on the brink of having the worst year in the Patrick Mahomes era. He has never finished a year as a starter. Remember, he didn't play his first year, but his second year on, they've never ended their season before the AFC Championship game. They don't know this, but I think it's kind of fun in a way because you never want anything to come easy. You never want just to be having that path that's super, super simple. And boy, it's not. You got the Texans tonight. You got the Chargers next Sunday, both those games at Arrowhead, Mikey. Then at Tennessee, home to Denver, then at the Raiders. So if you're a 6-6 team and you said, what 5 games would you like and where would you like them to be played? If I'm a Chiefs fan, which I am, I can't ask for any more than this.
No, and right now, not even looking at the schedule for the rest of the season, you couldn't ask for a bigger game than this one right here, Coach, if you're a Chiefs fan. The way the Texans defense has been firing on all cylinders, no matter what happens for the rest of the regular season, there is no defense that is being talked about more right now than the Houston Texans after dominating Josh Allen the way they did on Thursday Night Football and then continued that effort last week. So this Texans defense is riding high. But you just mentioned the success of Patrick Mahomes. If you can pick off that defense and you can have your way with this defense right here of the Houston Texans, I think the Chiefs make a statement no matter what happens for the rest of the regular season. They got to have this game against this specific team right here.
I had some people reach out to me this week, and we talk and we text, and this is my life. This is everything I love, and I think sometimes people think that I don't like it if you're talking trash to me, or if this is everything. This is as a sports fan, everything you want. You want to feel something, the good and the bad, the elation and the disappointment. That's what makes you feel alive. And I had somebody say to me, Raphael, "Oh, you don't want to play the Texans right now." And I said, why not? They're like, they're playing great. Their defense is playing amazing. I said, yes. But if I have a team that is ahead of me in the standings, what do I want to do? I want to play them head to head. So when it comes down to a tiebreaker, that's the number one tiebreaker. So I absolutely, as a Chiefs fan, want to play the Texans today. And I want to see just how good that defense is. Now, I am absolutely blown away that this is 4.5 in this game. But the books, and explain this to everybody at home, why the books have put this at such a big number when the Chiefs simply do not cover and the Texans have been so red hot.
Just like when a guy named Michael Jordan used to play for the Washington Wizards, and people were still betting on the Wizards because Michael Jordan put a jersey on. It's the same thing. Patrick Mahomes put a jersey on today, and he's the quarterback. Money is going to come in because he's the best quarterback on the planet right now. Now, if you're a KC, go watch the Jaguar game that Houston played. Yes, I know Houston won. I think it was 36-29. It was something like that. But Jacksonville was able to move the ball, score some points. And why? Play action, screen passes to the tight end opened up the middle of the field, and they were able to drive a little bit. If you're Kansas City, watch that game, and you can push the ball on Houston and maybe put some points in the goal. Because I think if it's a head-to-head offense per offense, I don't think Houston can beat Kansas City if it's a high-scoring game. If it's a low-scoring game, then I think the Chiefs could be in trouble. But Jacksonville, watch the Jaguar game. You were able to move the ball in Houston. I think they can move the ball in Houston.
I think there's still a little bit of, I don't know if it is two sides of the coin. I don't know if it's fans just barking a little bit. I saw somebody post, Mikey, when Davis Mills had won his 3 straight games and you had CJ Stroud standing there with the poo-poo face on. If CJ Stroud does not play well today, then you're going to start hearing it. You're going to start hearing it because Davis Mills played great in his absence. And sometimes people say if he wasn't such a big name, then I think if it was Kyler Murray, I think Davis Mills would still be playing quarterback for the Houston Texans. And if I'm Davis Mills, I've got to be asking myself, what do I need to do to keep a spot? So I think that's going to be an underlying storyline today if CJ Stroud gets off to a bad start.
Yeah, and if I'm Davis Mills, I go ahead, CJ, suck it up. Because the next 2 games for the Houston Texans, the Cardinals and the Raiders. And if they made that switch back to Davis Mills, there would be no better time to cash in on your stock of yourself if you're Davis Mills. Oh, I got to go beat the Cardinals? Oh, I got to go beat the Raiders? Okay. And even if they decide to end up going back to CJ Stroud to close out their season, hey guys, I had my 5 games of the year. I showcased myself to the NFL. Go ahead, give it back to CJ. I'll just sit here and I'll wait for my contract no matter what. And as much as I've talked about the Texans defense, this Chiefs defense can truly make life hard on CJ Stroud, who we were so gung-ho on after his rookie year, and we have not seen that same player yet since his rookie season. Coach, one thing I have to mention, though, being here with the sports books going live in Missouri, Rafi, I don't have to tell you, you guys both know all these special bets come up. And one came up yesterday and it said Rashee Rice to hit 1,000 yards on the season. I go, that's got it. There's no way that can happen. And I just looked, he's just under 500 yards. If you're a Chiefs fan, if you're Rashee Rice, this could be the time. I'm not saying he's going to get it, but there is absolutely an opportunity and a world that exists in my mind, given the upcoming opponents. Rashee Rice, Rashee Rice, Rashee Rice. Stop using him in gadget plays. Stop giving him 5-yard plays. Let's take the top off the defense if we're the Chiefs, and let's feature Rashee Rice each and every single week the rest of the way.
He's the only guy that can do it. And last week he had 8 for 92. He's routinely had 8 and 9 catches. Xavier Worthy is a good number 2, but there is no question in Kansas City who is 1A and who is 1B. And then also, and this is difficult when you watch one of your favorite players of all time, which Travis Kelce is. And it's not his fault that, yesterday I was at the airport. Do you know there's an entire Us Weekly, what do you call it, edition? I looked at the cover and I was like, oh, they're on the cover. No, guys, it's the entire magazine is all their road to engagement. I was like, oh my goodness, what is his life going to look like? As much money as they have when his football career is over, because the jokes will come. Oh, he's just going to be, carrying around, boo things bags and following her around on tour. I think Travis Kelce, all kidding aside, needs to look himself in the mirror today and say, listen, I know I'm not as athletic as I used to be. I know I'm not as fast as I used to be, but this is it for me. I don't think he comes back next year. I really, really don't, Raphael. And so when you look at him, you can almost pencil him in. His number is always 4.5. If it's 5.5, you fade it. And then he's always right around 40 or 50 yards. We had years where he'd go 70, 80, 90 yards. Those days are over. I think that's affecting Mahomes, and it's affecting their offense scoring touchdowns.
I agree. I mean, it's floating around anywhere between minus 160, minus 180 that he will retire after this season. But I think this is his last season. And if I was Travis Kelce, don't you wish you were maybe dating Taylor Swift's sister or somebody else? You wouldn't be all over the place on all those ridiculous magazines and TV episodes. There's a Hulu special be going on between them two, I think, in January. So I feel bad for the guy.
It's so much fun. It's I deal with this a lot with wrestling fans on Off the Ropes, on Coach and Bro, that they look at just the dollars and they think the dollars make you happy. And they think the dollars it does make life a little bit easier. But when you look at a guy like Travis Kelce, who's an alpha, he does a ton of fun things. He has his great podcast. They make millions of dollars. They have a ton of commercials, millions of dollars. But he's got to figure out, what does that look like? What does his life look like? Because, Mikey, nobody wants to sit around when you're 36 years old for the next 50 years in your $30 million mansion with your super famous wife and that be it. Vince McMahon, who a lot of people don't like, he taught me a lot of things. And one of those is, I asked him one time about money. And I said, why do you go to every show? Why do you get on this plane every single Monday morning? You fly to wherever when you've got all the money in the world. And he looked at me and says, Coach, you can only count your money for so long. You got to wake up with a purpose. He goes, WWE is my purpose. So Travis Kelce, this has got to be his purpose. Because, Mikey, this has been his purpose for the last, 15 seasons. And now we're at a point where the purpose is about over. What does he do to fill that void every single August to January?
Well, just like in wrestling, we're going to hear the rumors because we're now seeing it more and more in football, right? The team's struggling. Hey, maybe we can get Travis to come back. Maybe for like 5 games, we'll get Travis at the end. What I do not want to hear, and Coach, you can throw me off the show if you don't like this, but what I do not want to hear is, can't go out that way. I'm still hungry. Well, if you can't go out that way and you were still hungry, then why didn't you play hungry all season? I don't know how the Chiefs season ends, But I do not want to hear those words come out of Travis Kelce, because if you absolutely had to have it, if you knew coming into this season that, hey, this is more than likely it, like the entire world believes this is it, then each and every single week you should have made the plays, gotten your team in winning position, because he was the guy they had to have while Rashee Rice was suspended, and he just simply wasn't there.
No, but Mikey, here's where I'm going to push back on that. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't think he can do it. That's the thing. When you get to a certain age, can't do it. We saw John Cena's interview this week about, hey, everybody says you're walking away. He says, no, I don't want to walk away. I don't want to quit. Nobody ever wants to. They just can't physically. When you get out of bed in the morning, you can't spend more time on recovery than you can in the weight room, more time on recovery than you do on the practice field. So, yes, what you're saying is absolutely true. I just don't think he's good enough anymore. And that's a hard thing to admit when it's one of your favorite players, regardless of who it is. We talk about it with LeBron James. We talked about it with Tom Brady. We talk about it with all these greats that stay until they're 40 or late 30s. And sometimes it's as simple as you're just not good enough anymore. All right, gentlemen, great analysis today. Let's do our best bets one more time and get the hell out of Dodge. Mikey, let's start with you. What do you got today?
Give me the Commanders -1.5 taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Jaden Daniels is back for Washington. I think he has some self-pride, some self-respect, and he'll want to end this season for Washington on a high note. And he'll like to prove he can actually play through a full NFL game this season, because we have barely seen him on the field at all. And then in the Browns-Titans game, give me Quinshon Judkins, the very talented rookie running back out of Cleveland, for 91.5 rush and receiving yards. That Titans defense is Swiss cheese. And I believe Shedeur Sanders is going to need Quinshon Judkins in this game to help the Browns get a victory. And then give me the Rams -9, still at -9. If it goes to 10, do not touch it. If you can get the Rams at -9, go ahead and do so. I feel very, very sorry. No, I don't. For the Cardinals, who have to be the punching bag for LA today. And then RJ Harvey, 68.5 rush and receiving yards against a lowly Raiders defense.
All right, I'm going to go next. If you're going to cash with the coach, you're going to do these 4 plays. Simply 2014. That's the last time the Colts won in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's won 3 in a row. They've won 4 out of 5. They are rolling. The Colts have lost 3 out of 4. This one's easy. I don't know why they're underdogs. Now, Joe Burrow, over 253.5, -102. This has the potential to be a shootout. And when that happens, Burrow goes nuts. He's going to be over 300. Jamar Chase is going to be over 100. I do like his receptions as well, but 6.5 is tough. He can go 6 for 120 easy. We saw CeeDee Lamb on Thursday. He was at 7, and he was 7 for 121. He gets hurt. That's how easily you can not cash when it looks like a cash. And then I love the teaser. The Bengals +12, Bears +12.5. I think both of these games are highly competitive. Highly competitive. So give me 12 and 12.5 on both sides. Of course, that juice at most books is always -120. Raphael, bring us home.
One thing about those Ram plays, while we were talking, 2 books moved them to 8.5. Hard Rock and a book in Vegas. So I don't know if the copy and paste what happened to that. So maybe wait, because it's an afternoon game. My first play, Seahawks Falcons, first half over 21 points at -110. Seahawks, they can just score points at home or on the road the last 5 games. As a favorite, 4 of them have gone over the total. They give me Jalen Hurts over 190.5 passing yards, opened at 192.5. Yesterday, lost back-to-back games, but both of those losses, he hit this number. I think he hits this number again. And then give me Shedeur Sanders over 158.5 passing yards. I just think stay on your toes. Look at this one as well. Hey, I think he throws 2 touchdown passes. He's hit this number twice already, and I think he hits it again in the Browns win today.
So, guys, you know how much I love my trash TV, my reality TV. I don't know what this is going to look like tonight, but I'll be damned if I'm not watching this on demand. You can bring it back on camera, Mikey, please. It's called the Reality Hot Seat, and they're doing it on Peacock tonight. And there's 4 different people from 4 different reality shows. There's a famous guy from Survivor, a lady from Real Housewives of Utah, Salt Lake City. And I don't know if they're watching Sunday Night Football at the same time, but I'm guessing, Mikey, they're doing this because of the Taylor Swift crowd and the Taylor Swift fans. But Do I want to watch a watch along with Peyton and Eli on a Monday or 4 reality stars on a Sunday night?
Well, you would like the trash TV and not Peyton and Eli.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Haven't we had enough of the mayonnaise? Don't we say that
Oh,
continuously at the brand here
man.
that we've had enough?
I really thought at some point, but the more that happens, because we're dealing with a lot of different things here at the brand, and we have a lot of shows. It used to be you have one show, and then anything was overkill. Now, if you don't have 4 or 5 shows, then you're not. I mean, Stephen A's got 3 shows, 2 at Sirius XM where I'm at, and then also First Take. Apparently not overkill. The Mannings, 8 commercials at one time. Let's go. Let's
I
go.
think the Kelseys are going to be the
Yeah.
next ones because if Travis is at home, I mean, Hollywood would be calling him, but I guarantee you we're going to see the Kelseys a lot.
Well, I think we've seen Jason, and he's taken every commercial under the sun. And I think Travis is going to do it not for the money, but to stay busy. I'm telling you right now, I don't care how much they say we've never fought in 2.5 years. Bullshit. You've got to stay busy. If you get up in the morning, he can't put those 35 pounds back on that he lost for this season. He's got to have something to do. All right, time for our final takes, and then we're going to get out of here, and you guys enjoy your entire day. Raphael, let's start with you.
It's that more the early games are interesting, but let's face it, the afternoons between the Bears and Packers and your Chiefs tonight is going to be some really, really good football. I can't wait to watch Bears and Packers and see if the Kingdom can bring home a W against a really good defense.
Mikey.
Well, I want to wrap up the Kelsey conversation with this. I just thought of something while we were talking. I would love to see Travis Kelsey on College Game Day. Him and Pat McAfee, that would be an interesting dynamic. However, let's talk about the Bears and Packers because that is the only game that matters outside of the Chiefs and Texans. Ben Johnson, I don't know if you heard, but some crazy guy in Missouri got good, better, best tattooed on his back. So I need you to put the city of Chicago and this Bears team on your back and carry us to our second straight victory in Lambeau Field. Let's get the damn job done.
It's a big day. It's a big day for fandom. It's a big day for teams in the NFL. But what happens today will absolutely affect what happens for the next 5 weeks we head into the Christmas holiday. And don't forget, the Eagles and Chargers play on Monday Night Football. So the grind tomorrow night is going to be very, very important too. Guys, thank you for always getting up on a Sunday morning. Everybody watching in the chat that gets up with us, it means the world to us. We absolutely love doing this, even when we're out on the road and we're trying to figure it out. So, with all that being said, Mikey, I need that one shot. It's time for people to go out into the world. Do you know how to do a one shot? Oh, there we go. All right. Look at my man. Don't shake your head at me. Don't shake your head at me. It's time for you all to go out into the world, for you to pay it forward. Be nice to one another. Be kind to each other. And enjoy these games. And remember, just like Mendoza from Indiana told us last night, this is all about today. This is all about team. It's all about getting it done together. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So in the meantime, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire team, damn it, do I love them all. Mikey P pulling double duty on the ones and the twos. Also making picks. My numbers guy, Raphael, always staying and keeping us checked in. And I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. That's what we're all about right here every single day. It's Coach and Company. We'll see you tomorrow.